Hello and welcome back to Medical Compliance with Clarissa. I'm Clarissa Benfield, our Global Director and Business Line Leader for our Medical and Laboratory business here at Intertek. And today I am so thrilled to be joined by Amanda Strumiello. Hi, Amanda. How are you?
Hi, hello. I'm fine. Thank you.
Wonderful. Well, we're so happy to have you today joining us as our guest and subject matter expert. Maybe to kick us off, you could share a little bit with the audience just about yourself, how you came into the business here at Intertek, and what role that you play.
Yes, I'm very happy for the opportunity. It's Amanda Strumiello. I've been with Intertek for almost a year. I'm the business leader for the scopes of the electrical, hardlines, TT, and material areas in the certifications and laboratory division. I'm an electrical engineer with a postgraduate degree in safety and quality. I have over 15 years of experience with the conformity assessment in both industry and organization. I'm happy for the opportunity, and it's a big opportunity. Thank you.
Yes, wonderful. We're happy to have you join us today. So there's a lot that we could talk about, but the topic today that we're going to be covering is the Brazilian market and INMETRO. So, we have a lot of medical device manufacturers that we work with, and we see that Brazil has been a significant opportunity for medical device manufacturers looking to export their products. Do we see an increase in products that are being imported into Brazil from a medical perspective?
Yes, I think the pandemic brought several needs to increase medical devices, and even after the pandemic, health concerns are the leading people to take better care of their health. This demands greater investment for Brazil in having medical devices available, and therefore the demand for and importation of the products increase. Today in Brazil, you have 3,933 activity INMETRO certificate.
Wow.
We recently had the hospital fair in Brazil, where several new medical devices were presented to the Brazilian market, and he's led up the investment market, I think.
Wow. Yeah, that's really interesting to see. I think the pandemic globally, right? We saw that really making individuals feel like they are maybe in control or want to take better control of their own healthcare. So we're seeing so many emerging markets for medical devices really as we come out of this, heavy phase of the pandemic and into this new normal. So you mentioned INMETRO, right? So what are the specific certification requirements or process requirements that a manufacturer has to follow if they want to comply with this INMETRO regulation?
Mm-hmm. The certification is carried out by family. The formation of the family is given by 5 questions for FALAO, according to the Annex C of the INMETRO regulation. The certification scheme is Model 5, with the typing test of sample taken from the manufacturer and evaluation of the manufacturer quality management system. Is this the main scheme is Model 5 for all the certification in Brazil, the scheme 5.
Okay, that makes sense. And then one of the things that we see that manufacturers ask us a lot about is ILAC and the ILAC requirement, because of course we do a lot of testing for medical device manufacturers in all of our labs globally. But how do we make sure that they're understanding what the ILAC portion of that means, or the ILAC accreditation means for testing?
Yes. With the globalization of markets, it is imperative that the conformity assessment institute of each country reach recognition in the competent international forum. Without the tool in question, companies wishing to turn to the foreign market will encounter difficulties as they will face different requirements in different markets. Mm-hmm. The mutual recognizing agreement of the conformity assessment procedure exists with the objective of avoiding these additional costs, making the long cherish maximum valid, test once, accept anywhere,
Mm-hmm.
ILAC stands for International Laboratory Accreditation Cooperation. It's an international cooperation that brings together laboratory accreditation bodies from around the world. INMETRO has been a member ILAC since the creation, include the participation in executive committees. Therefore, tests carried out in laboratories that are accredited by organization that are of semi-recognition can be accepted for certification proposed, provided that they also meet the normative reference of the regulation. This practice eliminated international technical barrier and reduce extra costs and eliminate the need for new tests in Brazil.
Yeah, I think that's a good point to really end on that. If you test in an ILAC-accredited lab, you do not need to do retesting in country in Brazil, correct?
Yes, correct.
So that's obvious, a big benefit for medical device manufacturers if they're working with one of our Intertek medical labs globally, most of which we do have that ILAC accreditation, then they could use that test data report to come to Brazil and support their INMETRO.
Yes, of course.
And with that too, I know there used to be a requirement on test data, a 2-year requirement, and you had to refresh every 2 years. But I believe that they changed that as part of the new INMETRO requirements, correct?
Yes, correct.
Yeah,
correct.
So that's a huge benefit for manufacturers as well, right? I think a lot of people would get very concerned and very stressed about the having to retest at such a, every 2 years, but now knowing that they have more time, I think is really beneficial. For a manufacturer as well, right? So if we do our testing in an ILAC accredited facility, we get our test data, now we're ready to come to Brazil. Are there additional requirements from a technical perspective or documentation that a manufacturer should be prepared to have ready to comply with them in INMETRO? So have their ILAC testing, they come, they're ready. Are there any other additional technical requirements or documentation they should be thinking about?
Yes, for the manufacturer was the requirement of the ISO 30485 or ISO 14971 and the ESCs for risk management system. The surveillance review cannot be older than 15 months. The technical system will also be evaluated according to Anvisa's RDCs. Unit to routine tests will be evaluated on the production line, which must be using 100% of the products produced. The risk management file, which ensures traceability, must be available too.
Mm-hmm.
The RH project history record, and RMP, the project master record, must be available too. And audits must be carried out in Brazil to assess customer service requirement. The name of this audit is Treatment of Compliance, in Portuguese, Tratamento de Reclamações.
And so that happens how often with that audit?
Sorry?
Is that a one-time audit or an annual audit that they have to do?
Our audit, older than 50 months, you need to know the treatment of compliance and audit of manufacturing and audits to the legal manufacturer too.
Okay.
50 months.
15 months. Okay. So then let's assume we go through this process. We have everything ready to go. We get our INMETRO certificate. How long is the INMETRO certificate valid for, right? Does it last 1 year, 2 years, 5 years?
Mm-hmm. The validity of the certificate is 5 years. Okay. And there is a certification process. In certification, a new process must be started with the performance and new tests, even if the project has not undergone any changes.
Okay.
The distributions of commercializing of medical device does not occur after the issuance of the certificate, but the authorization by the visa through a registration. These records is managed and supervised by these agents of Visa, not INMETRO.
Okay, that makes
But
sense.
the valid is the 5 years.
5 years. Okay. 5 years before people have to start thinking about it again. And then how can Intertek help in the process, right? So we, of course, have our test labs where we can provide the testing, give them those reports from an ILAC lab. And then how does our team that is local in Brazil, how are we able to support manufacturers who actually want to go through the INMETRO certification process?
Yes, about my team.
Yeah.
What about? Yes, I have one team. Next month, started one new coordinator for electrical area, and I have one engineer for this process, and I have one a market executive for specifically for medical device too in my team, and I have one people in the operation team for the goes to the agenda for audits and schedule the events for manufacturer audit or legal audit or the audit of treatment of compliance. Anyway.
Okay, so we have a team, of course, locally where we can support any of our medical device manufacturers who are looking to come to the Brazilian market and get their INMETRO certification.
Yes, I have in the other countries. I have one team in Brazil, but I have Intertek is the globally, and I have other audits in the other countries. They have to qualify for these audits in the United States, in China, in Europe, but our process management for Brazil, for my team in Brazil.
Wonderful. So we really can rely on that large global network that we have at Intertek to really support this process for manufacturers.
Sorry.
Yes. I was just saying that, we have such a global reach, right? We have so many different facilities and staff that we can really support globally, which is exciting for us to be able to do. Oh, please. Yeah. If someone wants to go through this process, how long does it typically take? What is the lead time or turnaround to achieve their INMETRO certification?
Yes, for initial, the new process and 90 or 100 days.
Okay.
And the surveillance 30 or 45 days, more or less.
Okay.
Depending of the project.
Mm-hmm.
For new process and 90 days.
90 days. Okay. And with that, are there any certain types of medical devices that we don't support from a certification standpoint for INMETRO? Or do we have a certain scope that we can support, or can we really support any medical device?
Yes, I my team for all medical device, and if the client needs to support with a visa, my team have the competence for this too, for a visa or INMETRO certificate.
Wonderful. So we really can offer that solution for both INVISA and INMETRO and help these manufacturers who are trying to get their products into Brazil, which is so exciting as we see this to be such a big market and such a big market opportunity. I know we've also put out some other marketing literature if people have questions, but also, of course, if people have questions, they can contact us directly, and I can make sure to connect people directly with you, Amanda, if people have questions. And I know you have a great team where we can support them as they're journeying to enter into this new market. Is there anything else that you think is important that you want to share with our viewers? Any other notes or tips about the INMETRO process?
Okay, for only one for information, after issuing the certificate, audits are carried out of the factory and or at the legal manufacturer Retests will only be necessary if changes to identify during the audit, such as changing critical components, software, or designing the product. Surviving the markets is carried out only by Invisa, not INMETRO.
Okay. Only by Visa, not Metro. Okay, perfect. Well, I really appreciate you joining us today. Thank you for all of the valuable information. As I said, this is a topic that comes up a lot with our medical device manufacturers, and we're so excited to be able to support. So really appreciate your time. And if anyone has questions, of course, reach out to us and we'll connect you with Amanda. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a good day.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.